send her some well wishes. Hope that she feels better soon. I don't have any details beyond that, but we'll try to get her rescheduled here as soon as possible.
Absolutely. Deanna's a friend of the brand and a friend of ours, so we're all pulling for you, sweetheart. Hope everything turns out good. So, and obviously, you guys are going to see a familiar face potentially here on the show today.
Yeah,
we got the one and only Daniel Sharp of Pop Smoke fame. How are you, brother? Oh, he's got. How's it going there, Dan?
Sorry about that.
Are you good?
Yeah. I just didn't want to get any feedback in, so I had to throw my headset on. Yeah, I don't know if everyone's noticed, but we are tactical with our schmogs.
We are.
Making sure that, we're not wasting N95 masks, because contrary to popular belief, Corona is actually contagious over the internet, so you got to be careful there. 5G towers getting burnt down because people think. You. Like, you imagine that you finally get a good signal and like somebody burns down the cell phone tower.
Yeah, that would be the story of my life because I'm a T-Mobile customer.
Oh, that's why I don't have 5G anymore? Dang it.
Yeah, that's happening over in the UK, and they all the cell phone companies got together and put out a joint message like, please stop burning down our towers.
That's crazy. That's craziness. So we got a lot to talk about. A lot of weird shit happening in the world, as we know. Obviously, what's the Corona update for the day there, Charlotte?
The Corona update for the day is be smart. Like,
wash your hands.
Wash your hands. Yeah, use your shamag. Like, pull that out of the closet that you haven't worn. Like we all just did 5 minutes before the show. We were like, oh, a chance to wear it. Yeah.
Mine was literally in my attic in a trunk, and it still smells like Kabul. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible.
I don't know. Mine doesn't smell like Afghanistan anymore. Oh, well.
No, I washed mine with like I washed mine with like a gallon of OxyClean.
I don't think they make water hot enough to get the smell out of this one. So Dan, Pop Smoke, man, tell us about it. Tell us about your show and your podcast. You're a podcaster. You're a writer. You contribute for American Grit, which we appreciate. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's been fun. I started making memes on active duty as just kind of a way to break up the monotony. And my friends were like, yeah, you should start a page. And I did that, and it started doing well. And then after I got out of the military, I kind of went the way of some professional NFL players, where after I killed a bunch of people, I just started doing commentary on the profession.
Yeah, I mean, likewise. Yeah, I hear you. How long's Pop Smoke the show been around?
The Smoke Pit podcast has been around for a little over a year now. We're very thankful for all the support. We're listened to in 55 different countries, which is just goes to really show that the military experience is kind of universal. Like, there's some guy in Latvia or, wherever else, Australia, Norway, you name it, sitting in a company office right now, tuning into this, being like, yeah, I understand that.
Oh yeah, we've started having some international viewers, and it's a lot of fun because in talking with military from other countries, it definitely translates 100%.
Yeah, the experience is pretty universal. Getting divorced, having bad credit, buying a vehicle you shouldn't have. Like, a lot of us go through the same stuff.
You don't know me. You don't know my life.
I think he does know my life. Jesus.
I know. I'm sitting here going, check.
Good God. Like, that's,
wow.
I feel personally attacked.
Right?
Yeah.
I feel attacked.
And, as America being the most powerful military the world has ever seen, a lot of people kind of look to us to see how we're doing things. And the amount of money that we spend to send, cool guys with different color hats to train foreign military.
Oh, man. Dan, I knew having you on the show would be a great time.
Yeah.
I like it.
I like it.
Yeah.
Oh, man. We were talking before the show about somewhat similar situation about, like, shared military experience and stuff. And we were talking about lieutenants. I wonder if like all of those forward militaries have the same issue we have with lieutenants. I don't know.
Guys, if you're watching and you're from international, any of our international partners, and talk to us about your officer ranks, and are your lower officers as lost as ours are?
I'd like to know if they all wear polos, if that's like a universal thing across the world, or if it's just like our thing. Do they say the word potentially a lot? You know, like, I don't know.
It'd behoove you.
It would behoove you, yeah.
Yeah, for us, it's situation dependent. Whenever I was an instructor at the basic school, and whenever we'd have a lieutenant ask some daft question, the captain cadre would look around and be like, well, that's MET dependent. And they'd all write that in their situational awareness books. And it's like, they don't really learn anything, and then people wonder why they're lost.
I mean, I think it's with any training, and really in any profession, you don't really learn anything until you do it. On-job training is going to help you better than anything. Experience trumps education every time. So, I mean, I have a friend of mine who's a nurse. He was a corpsman. He was one of my corpsmen when I was in the Marines, and he recently graduated with his BSN. He brings to the table a whole lot of experience. Mm-hmm. But he was talking to me the other day, and he's like, "Dude, I'm the boot again." He's like, I'm in this ER now, and I'm a boot. He's like, and I just got to embrace it. And I'm like, yeah, man, like you don't know everything, you know? And I think that's the problem that a lot of junior officers, in my experience, had is that they believed, because it was like beaten to their head, probably by cadre like you, Dan, that it was acceptable to like, you know, like that they knew everything.
Well, I mean, my answer for every situation was 2 rockets. Like they're like, well, what do we do if the enemy does this? I'm like, shoot 2 rockets at them. That'll save a lot. That'll solve a lot of your problems. Yeah. Like, what if it's a humanitarian mission? Well, you shoot 2 rockets in the sky to let people know that there's help there. You know, like.
Yeah.
2 rockets. Yeah. Sounds totally plausible. Whatever.
Small can't help, you know? Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
I lost
So
what I was talking about. I lost it, Charlotte. So everybody out there listening, we are trying to get you free stuff, by the way. So you got to share this. If you share this 50 times, if we get 50 shares on this, Rob is going to slide into one of yours DMs, as he likes to do, and he's going to hook you up with the Grunt Style gift card in the form of Grunt Coin, as we call it here, at gruntstyle.com. So you can get a free shirt, whatever you want.
We had 50 shares on Friday's show. We did not get 50 shares yesterday, so let's see what we can do about that. Yeah. Hey Dan, aren't you also going to start giving away Grunt Style stuff on Pop Smoke too?
Yeah, we've partnered with Grunt Style, and that they've had an amazing initiative that they're going to give away T-shirts to first responders and stuff like that. So I went in there kind of like a secret squirrel, did a backflip. Everybody was too drunk in the office to notice I was there anyway, so I stole a bunch of T-shirts, and I'm going to give them away.
Nice.
So pretty excited about that.
I mean, I might have saw it, I just didn't care.
That's what I mean. Everybody was just too drunk.
Just poured more JMO in my cup and called it a day.
That's fine.
Yeah, like any good spy movie, you got to bring a couple of steaks for the Doberman guard dogs. Like I just threw a couple.
You need America bourbon.
Yeah, just threw a couple Warfighter tobacco cigars and a couple American bourbon bottles, and everybody pounced on that. And they couldn't give 2 shits what I did after that.
It's true, man. That's another partner that's involved with Operation Hero is Warfighter Tobacco. We thank them, and we're working with a lot of other great organizations to try to get this going. And if you're interested in what Operation Hero is, you can actually find it right in this area. I think maybe this area. I think it's this area on the screen.
It's up.
Yeah,
it's up.
It's up here somewhere. But basically, what we're doing is. Morale is a big issue. All right. There's a lot of people out there that are contributing in their own way. And one of the ways that Grunt Style is doing is we're helping out these individuals who are seriously on the front line of this pandemic. Mm-hmm. We are, I read a story yesterday that it broke my heart, man. And it was basically this nurse who had to, she let this patient call his wife because he was about to be intubated and wasn't going to be able to say goodbye to her.
Wow.
And while he was talking to his wife, the patient in the next bed coded, and it was like, oh man, and like,
wow.
and you got to think about the mental toll. And us as veterans, we definitely understand that mental toll of seeing things like that happen. And that's what these nurses and doctors and CNAs and, all these first responders are seeing every single day.
Yeah.
These guys need a morale boost, which is why we're really doing this entire push for Operation Hero. And I think, if it'll help anybody, even if it helps one, then it's a win.
Yeah. So I wrote a story, on American Grit yesterday, talking all about Operation Hero. So if you go to AmericanGrit.com, which is the banner going across your screen down there, if you go to AmericanGrit.com, then you'll see, and in that article we talk about Grunt is trying to give away over 20,000 shirts, and they want to donate over $200,000 worth of supplies to include setting up food trucks right outside hospitals, and also giving funds for free childcare service. So there's a lot of really good things, and lots of organizations are donating and doing things in their efforts. We saw that this was a little bit of a different way to provide some efforts while using the best resources. And we're trying to get you all involved. This is a community effort to support those that are on the front line. So really hope that you guys check out Operation Hero. Dan Sharp. So we have had a lot of people asking, what is Pop Smoke?
So basically it's a veteran community with an emphasis on entertaining and educating. So basically what I do is I make a bunch of raunchy memes, and then once I get everybody in there laughing, I trick them into learning about their benefits and suicide prevention.
Yes.
Yeah. So
like
it's
I'm a little confused by your tactics. I'm going to keep listening because I don't know what's going on. That's exactly how it works. That's great.
But you're making me laugh, so I'm game.
Yeah, dark humor and veterans go together like cocaine and waffles. So
telling you, man, memes are going to end up saving the world.
Yeah, I've actually I got a phone call from the governor the other day. He's avid listener of the show, super cool guy, and he said that I have to continue to go to work because meme makers are essential personnel.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. What state are you in?
Virginia.
Wow.
Yeah.
Y'all are having enough issues. That's crazy. I'm surprised he likes memes.
He doesn't like the memes being made about him, so anything to distract from that.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, one of the great things that American Grit does, and that Grunt Style and a lot of these organizations that do like podcasts like yourself, it's nice to be able just to bring that community together, because you have guys that are in bumfuck Wyoming right now who don't have that support network, and they can tune into your show or my show or watch this live feed, and they can just bullshit in the comments like they're back in the smoke pit.
It's very true, man, and that's one of the powerful things about this medium. Whether it's podcasting, whether it's live shows like AGL, whether it's any of these like media, it's open to everyone, and if you have a voice, you can be heard. And if people actually like what you're doing, then it really does, and it's helping people. Then everybody wins. That's what drew me into it, and I'm assuming that's what drew you into it. It's much less about me as it is about everybody else.
Yep.
Yeah, initially it really just started off as a cheap ploy to be able to entice women into thinking I was cooler than I was. But then when I got a good girlfriend, I was like, all right, I guess I'll start talking more about suicide awareness and all that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got to get yours. I mean, come on.
Yeah, can't nobody hate on that.
Yeah, as many warrior poets have once said, an empty bowl cannot pour into other containers. So you got to find whatever your passion is. You got to make sure you're taken care of. And like you said earlier, these first responders, like, they need a morale boost, because how are they supposed to give their all to, people, they see 1,000 patients in a month, but like each one of them, like that's their life. And so what you guys are doing for that is amazing, because they definitely need that support.
I agree, man. I agree.
And most of them, what really sucks is, at least some of us have the leeway to be able to, pop into the grocery store or, just kind of sit around our homes and relax at the end of the day. Whereas most of these guys are working overtime, pulling in multiple shifts, and they don't even have enough time to go to the grocery store. I know I had a nurse friend reach out and she was like, I haven't even had time to look for hand sanitizer, let alone any of the ingredients or try to figure it out, anything. So I've been trying to do, you know, if I have people reach out to me like that, then I've been trying to do what I can to make sure that they get the supplies that they need. So, yeah.
Yeah, and so one thing that has been working for some people is that you can go to various online places like apps, and you could order groceries to be delivered. And a lot of their time slots are booked up, so you might kind of have to Kentucky windage a little bit for a day or two in advance. But you place that order in, and then you come home, and boom, there you have groceries. And so that's something for people to keep in mind.
Yeah, and I think that's a powerful tool that the elderly and more vulnerable populations could really use during this. Is utilize that technology. We have all these Uber Eats and all these like Favor and stuff. I mean, hell, you could favor booze. Like, even if you want like a 6-pack, man, you can favor some beer to your house now. I mean, it's really amazing. It's an amazing time we live in.
Virginia is passing a law that distilleries can ship spirits directly to their customers.
God, that's awesome.
Yeah. Nice.
I'm curious how they're going to work that. How are they going to confirm that they're 21?
I don't know what to tell you.
I'm just curious.
Oh yeah,
Nick James commented. He said, "Laughter temporarily cures PTSD." Nick, I couldn't agree with that statement more, man. I could not agree with that more.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit of a burden off your shoulders to help you kind of forget about your troubles for a little bit, so that way it's like R&R, and then so the next time stress or adversity comes in your way, you're not quite as worn down as you were before. You got to tune into something like this, or listen to a podcast or whatever the case is.
So you at least have a good podcast. My podcast is mediocre at best. That's our tagline. So,
it's funny. Freedom Friends is good. People should check out Freedom Friends. They should check out Pop Smoke for sure, because they're all really funny.
Yeah, and even our brothers over at Drinking Bros are also doing a lot of good work for the veteran community. It's all good, man. It's all one team and one fight. It's a family. Yep. And I don't know when this whole us versus them mentality came from, because it's really not like that. I mean, we're all in this together. It's a community. Yep. It's much like the community the shirt that we've been pushing, because that's what we're trying to say. It's about unity. All of us together. The veteran population, if we get together, we are a powerhouse. Yeah. The country couldn't handle. Like, if we all banded together, like, we could fix everything.
Oh yeah.
Like, everything.
There's all kinds of veteran organizations. We were even talking about one right before the show, and I know, Dan, that you've written a story about it. Warfighter diving.
Scuba.
There you go, Warfighter Scuba. And I had never heard of that. I didn't know that there was an actual veteran organization for scuba diving. So that's really neat. And that just shows, it's so diverse in our community that anything you want, you can also find a veteran-owned backing for it as well. So
that's some real deal social distancing. If you're scuba diving, that's perfect, man. That's awesome. Unless you're in California, apparently you get arrested for playing in the water. That's weird. But whatever.
But Georgia's opening up their beaches, so it's cool.
Yeah, just go scuba diving in Georgia, because Georgia doesn't care. I don't know. That's craziness. You're closer to that than we are, Dan.
Yeah, it's been a bit crazy, because Virginia Beach here was flooded with tourists, and the governor got super pissed. He's like, "I told y'all, motherfuckers, stay home." And what y'all do? He's like, "I seen your Snapchat, Becky." I know you was at the beach.
Oh, goodness.
So I wrote an article for American Grit the other day. It's like the whole country got Article 15 and NJP,
Yeah.
30 days restricted to quarters, half pay and allowances.
It's true,
I know, man.
It's true.
Let me out.
Yeah.
Well, I tried to explain to somebody the other day, they're like, well, what's the best way can you explain what's going on? I was like, you know what? This is the closest thing to a deployment that I could have my civilian friends understand. Like, you're sitting here, you're eating like a dumbed down version of the food you like because takeout's never as good as it is in the restaurant,
Yeah.
We're not all as hardcore as you, Charlotte. All right? I'm still, I'm encouraging people to eat local too, like local restaurants.
Yep.
You know, that's my big push right now is like, you got all these restaurants and local businesses. Like, this is going to impact them hardcore, and it is. And you got to think, McDonald's is going to be fine. Burger King and Whataburger and all that, they're going to be fine. You know, these are multi-million-dollar corporations.
Whataburger was garbage before this started.
Whoa, dude, you're talking
Garbage.
to Texans, man. You're talking to Texans here. You gotta watch that.
No, I'm kidding.
Even my Crocs are upset right now.
No, I'm kidding. It is important to find a location that has good reviews, and that's what I tell people. They're like, "Oh, I went to this place you recommended," and I was like, "Well, you know, that place has 1 star, as where the one a block down the road has 4 stars. So like, that's really on you, bud. Like, if you had a bad experience at Whataburger, that's really on you."
Yeah. Well, what are you, an In-N-Out fan there, Dan?
Checkers, Rallies. I think they have the best fries.
Oh, I miss Rallies fries.
Yeah.
Okay.
Checkers loaded fries. I can get on board with that. I can get on board with that. Yeah.
All right.
I do miss living on the East Coast sometimes, you know, because I'm originally from the East Coast and I retired out of there. My family's from there. I miss a lot of stuff out there. I miss sandwiches. I miss a good sandwich. Like, I can't get that here. Like, out there, I could go to like a gas station, go to like Wawa, and have a better deli in Wawa than I would here in Texas. Period.
Yeah, but at the same time, like the Hispanic and Latin American food here is not nearly as good as it is in Texas.
That's true. So, that's true. And barbecue, man. And I know that's a big argument across the country about who's got better barbecue.
Texas.
I don't think you can mess with Texas brisket. It's crazy. And my buddy, a good friend of mine, my boy Jared, is like he's my barbecue master. This dude has ruined brisket for me. Like, I went to a wedding back east last year, and they served brisket, and I was like, "What is this crap? Like, get it out of here!" I was like, but I don't know, man. I don't know. It just goes to show, man. I think everybody's got like their little, better than White Castle. Yeah, of course it's better. Have you eaten White Castle? Come on.
White Castle's only good.
White Castle is the Waffle House of burger joints.
Dude, you just have to be hammered. That's the only time. Like,
yeah, if you get the to-go packet at, like, say you go to the gas station, the freezer section, they have like the 12-pack of White Castle burgers that you have to microwave at home, and you've had a little bit of drink, maybe a little bit of smoke, and then like that's when they're fucking money.
I can't argue that. I cannot argue that. That's the only time White Castle's ever good. That and Crystal Burger. That's why there's a reason that there's a Crystal Burger on Bourbon Street in New Orleans.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean, like, there's a reason it's there, and it's drunk food, man.
Yeah, they know their demographic.
Yeah.
Oh man. To 32 shares. We're almost there.
All right. So we just need 18 more shares. So we can give away some free stuff. Let's do it, guys.
We're seriously trying here. Way to go, Rob.
Rob.
Hey.
Way to go, Rob.
Yeah, so when you run out of toilet paper, you can actually use your schmog as a loincloth.
That's true.
Oh.
And then just throw it in the wash.
Good thing I have 2 then.
I'll just be, I have a hose in my backyard. I'll just go out there in my loincloth, hose it off. It's fun.
A bit of a bidet,
Yeah. It's fun.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if anybody's ever used a bidet, but it's quite refreshing.
You know what? So I talked about this on one show, and I think it's something that needs to be addressed. And it's true. If you got any kind of mess on your hands, you wash your hands. Your arms, you wash your arms. Yet somehow, as a society, a thin piece of tissue paper is okay for back there. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just very fun. Very weird.
For the most soiled location.
It's very weird. Why are we talking about this on American Grid? Come on.
Hey, the people need to know.
The topics change sometimes. So Dan, tell us, how can people find Pop Smoke? And I believe your show is called The Smoke Pit, isn't it?
Yes, indeed it is. And The Smoke Pit is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, and that's our podcast. So you can download that, take it with you. If you're looking for some dank memes to be tricked into learning about your benefit and to caring about veteran suicide, then you can find Pop Smoke on Facebook, Pop Smoke Official. That's my Instagram page. I post a lot of memes and pictures of me in the story. So if you don't want to see my ugly face, you don't have to look at my story. But if you just want the memes, they're on the wall. So I know what the people want.
Nice. So Dan, can you talk to us a little bit about writing for American Grit? What kind of articles and things are you trying to contribute?
You've put out some great satire, by the way, man. I want to say I appreciate some of the satirical pieces that you've written. I've really enjoyed.
So I've been writing and doing journalism for about 4 years now, and then about 3 months ago I came on to American Grit, and it's been a great experience because I was able to go to DC and meet with some congressmen and senators to talk about the Burn Pit 360 initiative for the toxic exposure bill.
Nice.
And
you're out there with Dan and Tim.
Yeah. And so that's been great. I've been able to do some really great stories and write some funny satire, which is always kind of great to see people who don't quite know that it's satire.
Yeah. I love it when you get them. Like the Duffel blog is great about that. People believe that it's real, and it's like, those are the best. Yeah,
I did a satire article a few years ago that I had been arrested for having relations with 2 female officers instead of a speeding ticket, and it blew up, and it just went all over the internet. It was the top trending meme on Reddit and iFunny, and like there's so many people out there that were just like, oh my god, this guy's a hero, blah blah blah. And I'm just like, I just made that for my followers, who like know me, and it just took off. And so sometimes satire articles kind of have a life of their own.
Daniel Sharp, the Edward Snowden of the veteran community.
Well, and something else that's funny is, your page is named Pop Smoke, and the stuff that you do, which has recently gotten very confused with a rapper.
Yeah. And
you had all of your social media blowing up because people thought that something that happened to the rapper happened to you.
Yeah, I woke up to a bevy of text messages and DMs and mentions and stuff like that, and all of them were just like, bro, I can't believe you died. Is this you? Are you okay? And I'm looking at through blurry eyes. I hadn't quite, wiped the sleep out of my eyes yet, and it said Pop Smoke shot in his home. And my first thought was just like, damn, did I die last night? Am I a ghost right now? And then
the funny part is that they don't know your name. They thought your name was Pop Smoke.
Which, I mean, I get that, it was kind of the anonymous moniker that I had when I first started because I was active duty, and I was terrified of my command finding out that I was having fun, which is, highly illegal in the UCMJ.
Whoa. You did
I mean,
that's how you lose. That's how you lose Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hands in the pocket and white socks with combat boots. That's how the enemy wins, And so I see this, and with all respect to the recently departed, he and I look nothing alike, and my profiles have pictures of me, and so I'm like, this gentleman, God rest him, he doesn't look anything like me, but everybody thinks that it's me in this community, and I was just like, man, like I know this is going to be a shit show for at least a day or two, and it was kind of one of those things where it was just like, I very well could have been gunned down when I was 19 in Iraq or in Afghanistan or any of those deployments. And, so it's kind of another way to face your own mortality, as for, one day that may be the case. Maybe I make a meme about somebody and they don't take it the right way. So that's why you got to stay strapped. That's why you got to stick up for your Second Amendment rights. You got to
stay strapped or get clapped.
Yeah. You got to keep one in the chamber,
Yeah. I hear you, man. I hear you. We're very pro 2A over here.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's actually been some of the best articles that I've written for American Grit, is when Virginia is trying their fuckery with their different bills that they're trying to pass, and then the good patriots across the country, they stand up all together in the comments and they're like, this is garbage. And I'm like, yo, well, you got to write your representative. You got to write your congressman, your senators. You got to let them know what you oppose and what you believe in. Otherwise, they're just going to do what they do.
Yeah. It's funny to me, man. I am positive that once the election cycle for all those individuals comes around, like they are going to be sweating because they like they're going to be sweating, man. I don't think they can recover from all that. But Daniel, thank you very much for coming on the show today, man. We appreciate having you. Appreciate you coming.
Yeah.
And I think this is going to be more of a regular thing, right? You might be popping on the show now and again to help us out once in a while.
Yeah, well, I can't leave my house, otherwise I'll get arrested because the country's on a 60-day free trial of communism.
Oh.
Yeah. Enjoy that socialism, kids. This is what it's like. You like buying only one packet of toilet paper? That's what it is.
So we need 8 more shares. So let's do a 2-minute push. Come on, guys. How many shares can we get?
8 more shares.
8 more shares. So we can give away something for free.
Shares.
Come on.
Come on. We want to give you guys free stuff.
So, and while we're using that time, when the lockdown is finally lifted and, they finally figure out how to beat all this, where's the first place you guys are going?
Oh, that's a great, probably work.
Right? I know.
No, first place I'd like to go, honestly, I'm going to attempt to get a sitter, and just like my wife and I are just going to leave.
Yeah.
Just be like, we'll be like, I don't know, like to an undisclosed location where we can just go to bars and get hammered and eat all the food in a restaurant. I'm going to go ham for a week. That's what I think.
What about you, Charlotte?
Well, I know I can kind of do this now, but I've been wanting to go camping for a couple months now. Well, actually for a couple years now. It's just
you take your whoopee and just set it up in the backyard as a lean-to.
There you go.
I know. That's not good enough. I want the stars. I want the nice Texas blanket of stars.
Yeah.
Don't you live in like the boonies though, Charlotte? You could probably do it.
No, not directly, but I do have access. I don't know. I haven't had a day off, so like between the army and this, like
how's the Wi-Fi at the ranch? How's the Wi-Fi out at the ranch?
It's not too shabby. Maybe I'll do a show out there one day.
I'm just saying.
So, but
well, let's see here. Where do I want to go? I would probably say, I think maybe Alaska.
Nice.
Yeah, Alaska would be nice.
Yeah, I haven't been there yet, and I definitely wanna go out there and possibly fight a moose.
I was gonna say, do you hunt or fish?
Sparingly. I'm not very good at it. I'm not going to claim to be one of those guys who could survive with nothing but a fishing line and a rifle. I am very dependent on Taco Bell. I will say that. But no, I'd like to go out there, maybe do a cruise. Potentially go see the Northern Lights when it's the right season.
I have a good friend of mine who lives up in Anchorage. He's been trying to get me to go out there for years, man, and I really want to. But guess what, guys? I got good news. We got 55 shares.
Hey!
Means we get to give out some free stuff. So, one of you happy folks who shared this stream, we will be, Rob, our producer, will be sliding into your DMs as he does so well and so frequently.
Yes, he does.
Am I eligible? Because I shared it on my personal Facebook.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe you are. Rob's in our ear saying no.
But like we mentioned before, in case you missed it, Dan is going to be giving away grunt style stuff on his Pop Smoke page, so pay attention for that too. Keep posted to American Grit. I'm about to post a few more articles for the day on all kinds of topics to include, if you guys check on it, we've got our Operation Hero article that talks all about the things grunt style is doing. So with that being said, we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yeah, see you then.